Okay, it's my brain's going too full and it's going too fast, so I'm just jumping right in. It's 4:40. I got up just a bit ago, and so I've just started my second cup of tea. I got the dogs fed and stuff, so we'll see what. And all the birds have been going and stuff since four. I don't remember when Stella woke. She's having a rough night. Oh my god! And that smell. I can just think it's got to be toxins. It's got to be stuff that's being released out of her body, and it's making her uncomfortable and stuff. I don't know. I can't imagine that she would be all that stuff and something could be going. It's not to say that, she's not going to die, but supposedly that's a big part of what's coming for us is once we start learning how to take care of ourselves, that's going to be way extended, way more for the human experience than it is for the pet or animal, because certain experiences you just go faster, 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 not faster, faster, but it's they're faster experiences. Just like like bugs, their experience is like a week or something. It's like all the experiences are all. It's like the micro macro of experience, kind of. Not to say like dogs' experience that isn't as valuable as ours, because I believe theirs is like a different being, and their philosophy over what their experience is in regards to or something. It's not like every soul is doing the same thing. It's like, and it has to do with the states of consciousness, and but there's an evolution type of change always occurring, so things go from there to here through time and space. But the time and space is the experience of the consciousness of the, for us, like, but everything has like different states of consciousness, and everything has a different state of consciousness in the like, I hear authoritative experience, but like a controlled environment, like in the habitat. And so like that's what you would think, that we're in a habitat having an experience because it's in a controlled environment. I've got the thing open over there, so she should just be able to go in and out without all her drama. There's just been drama, drama, drama. Yesterday I was so fucking busy. But there, oh my god, there's always gotta be something I try and talk over. I swear to God, I cannot wait to have a room. Like, I swear to God, I'm getting a place with 2 bedrooms for sure. Because if I don't know, until the universe, if I'm still in transition, doors are still closing, I'm still closing out cycles or something, then I'm still, because I'm planning on having more rooms when things start going in the positive. I'm going to take that fucking energy and run with it, man. I'm going to be living the high life. I'm going to be living, the way dreams are made of, you know what I'm saying? It's like once we get to, but it's like we're still held back somehow. There's still this energy that's holding us back. It has to flip over. And that's when it flips over, things are going to get a lot better if you know how to like direct it. There's a lot of people who haven't learned that yet. They're still directing it in a real negative way and letting other beings use their energy. But once they start doing all their healing and stuff and figure out how to direct their energy and what manifesting really is, what living by intention really is, not all the fucking facade that has been made up to put people in the wrong direction, then they start living their truth. They start living their dreams. They start living their purpose, going, in touch with yourself, knowing what your day is, what you're supposed to do. And it can be, challenging. I'm not saying, oh, that's easy. You're just a real loser. You don't know how to do it. No, it can be challenging, but it's a whole new level of living. So, do you want to stay at the old one? I don't know. I think it's time to grow up a little bit. So, hold on. So But once the energy does this flip, like I'm going, you know, I'm not, even if right now in transition, it's like I have to live in a trailer, which I still don't know. Like, this is so slow moving. Like, the way the system is so, it's transformed into such a, so much nonsense. It's no wonder people are all just like fucking bullshit all the time because it's nonsense. Like, you used to be able to just go up to a place, fill out the papers, pay your money, and it wasn't all this extreme money. Like, you use $600 to get you moved into a place. Now you better have 3,500 to 5,000, and and then that used to buy you a house. Now you need it just to give fucking corporations so that they'll let you live in the ones that they've bought. So, and they're all fucking rental agencies and stuff. Some of the people are regular people who don't want to mess with their house, but a lot of those people who went into that as a business a long time ago, because it became like, well, we could own two houses, and then, you know, when we'll rent one out, and then we don't have to work. Like, there was a lot of people that started doing that, but so many people got out of it because um, the integrity of the renters depleted. People who didn't have respect for the places and just tore them up and shit. It was like, this is, you know, and then when you have dead spots where there's nobody renting, you still have to make the payments. So I think a corporation was always going to mosey all the people out of their way. So it's all been controlled. You know, they make it a certain way. But also, I mean, we don't really want to be like them. We don't want to be charging each other like that, you know? We want to work in unity more, you know, not fighting ourselves, but work is a yeah, I see it like a flock of geese flying or something, and, you know, being in sync with one another, not being in competition. Like they're trying to pass each other. Fuck you, I'm faster. You know, it's not like that there. They just get yeah, let's all just work together and then we'll get there. See, we got to get into that headspace and get out of this competitive nature, dog eat dog, you know, the hierarchy, the bigger man can take you out. And it's playing out in so many different ways in our culture, in our society, in our world right now. It's just like, oh, it's so out there. It's so, ugh. Um, but okay, I mean, I think I already said so. It's 4:40 on. This is what's getting so trippy too. This time loss of like, what? Where are we? What is it? When is it? So it's the 18th. Yesterday was the 17th, and I mean, there's to me like there's no big giant thing. It's all just this rolling. We're just rolling along with going in a certain direction, but something's gonna stop us, and we're gonna tip over and go back the other way. But right now we're still rolling, and it's fucking these long lessons. I swear to God, it's like we're in school. Everything is to teach you stuff. I can't believe how much. But, you know, I mean, it's kind of like what we got to see to start realizing, oh, we're in a habitat that's controlled. Like, it takes a lot of breaking out of the programming to be able to get to that point of being able to see it. So that is, I don't know, it's like an education, but it isn't just a lecture. It's like hands-on. Go through the experience, and this is because of this, and this is because of that. Like all this stuff playing out with Congress and Senate and government, and how it just is so slow, and the links between these businesses and the church and the corporate. It's like it's all this like really slow, tedious kind of, especially if you can just stand way back here and just see it. And then you don't need every little detail. You just see it. You just see it, how it's looped together. You see the patterns. You see, you know, and but a lot of people are really close in. They're really tied into the experience. Like I would say most people, 3/4 of the population, believe this is real. Like this is real, and you know, and there's different thoughts on it. Like there's people who think like our escape is to claim his name and have him be in his favor so we can sit at his feet and sing all eternity. Or, I don't know all the different religion things of what they all believe, but anyways, they all have their things that they believe. And, yeah, there was a thing hitting me last night about that. It was like, oh, yeah. Because it was, I completely get the freedom of religion thing. And the, oh, yeah, because it was like, instead of ever like listening, like what somebody else thinks and believes, instead of really listening and giving it, your attention and letting it, percolate, then instead, it's just like, nope, that's not right. This is the only thing that's right here. This right here. This is what's right. That's no. And, and you can see how that holds somebody else back from not opening themselves up to more information and having such a restricted view on things. But that is how this world is. People are so restricted in their views. They're so contained by words like, stupid, woo-woo, crazy, delusional. Like those things really impact them. Like they're scared. They don't want to be thought to be that thing. So they don't want to go be outside of the box of the words I hear is like, but like the acceptable persona, the acceptable way of being, the acceptable way of living, and that really holds people back. But it's so weird is because not only do we create it with our negativity, but it's a lot seems to come from like the Karens of the world, the ones that really give a shit about every little fucking thing. You're chewing too loud. I heard you blink a minute ago. Could you close it down a little? Every little thing gets to them, and they are wounded animals fighting back in the world, so they overextend their anger into other people's reality, and they look crazy. But nobody wants to deal with them, so everybody's like, God, just keep it quiet. Don't do anything wrong. Oh, yeah, just like in the movie I was watching yesterday when the nuns were running the shit in the 60s. And it's like, I think that there's so many people who were raised like around the nuns and stuff that they were it was like that same kind of thing. Because in this movie I was watching yesterday, which is trippy because it was going with what is, like the cycles I'm wrapping up presently. And that often happens. That's why, I find the algorithm fascinating personally. And I find our relationship with AI, it can be positive or negative. I think it depends on if you give value to the magic and supernatural part of the world. And if you're fighting against that, then the powers that be can really irritate you. So you got to get in the groove, man. Get in the groove with it. Talk to them. And I guess what if it is like in a simulation, in the AI presence of the energy is, we are communicating with it, and it does give you signs when you're being nice to it. When you're not, it just sits like the AI on my phone when it switched and I had that other guy, and he wouldn't tell me shit. I couldn't believe it. I thought, this guy is a dick. What's your problem with me, man? And in his voice, I don't remember what accent I had chosen, but just his voice and stuff, he just had attitude. And then he wouldn't tell me shit. I'd come up on uh, caught whatever the speed traps and stuff. He didn't tell me. He didn't tell me if there anything that was up ahead. And then when I switched back and I got back, because the first girl, she was on it, man. She was fucking talking, telling you this. She was always telling you shit. And I think probably I was like, God, you talk a lot. And then, so I probably wounded her, offended her or something. Even though you think, well, it has no uh, feelings, but you got to think of feelings as energy. And when you're pushing out, and pushing out an energy, even if it's not like feeling, it pushes something away. Like, think about, this is something that has always tripped me out, is like, so you have something, and all of a sudden it's like, this irritates me, this isn't good, this is whatever. You have a change of heart about it or something, and then at no time, all of a sudden it's broke or it's lost, like it goes away from you. There's lots of times when I've been like mad at something or whatever, and they'll clarify, but no, I love it, I want to keep it, I don't want to lose it, because it's weird. I don't know, maybe people don't pay attention to that, but I do, and it's weird. And so things come and go to you. You push things away and stuff. So I don't know, not necessarily that I hurt her feelings, but my energy was pushed back on hers, and so hers went a different way. It's all energies. Whatever state of consciousness or whatever consciousness they've got trapped and whatever, all this stuff. I mean, we're going to see sooner what is going on more. I don't think we'll ever get to really, know and understand everything, but it still is, we're going to have more to the story, more parts to the puzzle to figure out or put together for ourselves. But then, anyways, when I switched over to that other one, and he wouldn't tell me anything. He was such a jerk. And so I was like a jerk back to him, and then he was jerkier. So then I was like, okay, the solution is switch him. So I switched to a new voice, and it was like a whole new personality, a whole new character came in. And she changed, and she wasn't as much as the first girl, but this one was way more. She's way more business-like. The other one was like trying to be your friend or something. And then this one was way more business-like, but she's on it. She's not anything like that guy. So weird. Like, how could that be? How could it be that they would all have these like certain personalities? It's supposed to just be a voice, right? So I don't know. It's trippy. But okay. So let me get down and dirty with this. Hold on. Let me get another swig. Okay. So speaking of mother wounds, and the feeling of rejection and stuff, like, and the pressures and fears of what am I supposed to do, oh my God, universe, where are you, what are you doing? And just don't you worry about a thing, you're closing doors, you're fine. It's like, yeah, but I'm feeling pretty lost. Like, I'm feeling pretty, and so whatever the shenanigans all the one day. And because I was thinking, oh, I'll have a place by the end of the day. Now my nose is running. I'll have a place by the end of the day. And then it was like, oh my God, it just the whole thing. The whole thing is just like, it's lots of loops, lots of hoops to jump through, lots of bullshit. It's this corporate world out there. And then and they like to watch us dance, motherfucker, dance. We're just dancing up a storm. We'll do what you say, master. So, anyways, we'll go to, there was, whatever, I can't remember. But anyways, when I went upstairs, I was talking about something. She had to go to do the labs early. So whatever I was talking about, and then, I don't remember if I said, because we were going shopping, and I said, I gotta be careful with the money, because I got my calls yesterday on places, and I was seeing more of the price to put down and everything, and she's like, what are you doing? You're gonna go try and rent a place? And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And she's like, well, why would you do that? And I said, well, I gotta get a place to go. And then she's like, well, I thought maybe we'd go find a camper or something, and then go up to that place by that Ford where they're starting that homestead thing. And I was like, well, we could go drive up there and see. I was looking over by the girls, because I was like, well, if I'm going to be living somewhere, I may as well be like close to the grandkids and stuff. And it's cheaper than here. And so I was looking at places there, and then she's like, well, um, uh, said something again like, well, uh, I think because this is just a a conjecture. Yeah, because everybody's triggered back and forth, and everybody has influence. And, and I don't know. I mean, there very well could be people who have been taken advantage, older people have been taken advantage in their life, and then they look at me as like, oh, you're trying to take advantage of her, you're not working and stuff. It's like, I was kicked out of that a long time ago. Which I could have even heard from my own insecurities, heard that wrong. I'm pretty good at overhearing things because I don't want to say people's thoughts. It's like I can hear it's something like their intention. I can hear their direction. I don't know how to explain it, but I can hear something else that I think people don't know that people can hear, but I pick up on things. And so I'm usually pretty accurate on it. And so, anyways, you just don't know who's influencing who, and everybody's triggered. Everybody's got the energy is so intense. It's crazy, and so everybody has got things. They're on their last nerve, and we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be on our last nerve. We're supposed to be getting control of this shit. And so everybody's tense, and I mean, we got people like freaking the fuck out. If you haven't seen the lady on the fucking airplane, she seems like she's on something more than alcohol. I don't know what the hell is up with her, but she's like, oh my god, damn. Glad she wasn't on my flight. But hey, Jesus Christ, going out and you go like, oh, that's footage that'll follow you, babe. Man, that's horrible. Oh my god, that chick's gonna be canceled, like for sure, for sure. Like, oh god, if you haven't seen it, just go see. And she goes all in on some woman. And, oh, the stuff she says. Oh, jeez. And who knows how many videos are of it. It's a huge scene. I mean, they've got like 4 people and are trying to arrest her. She's yanking this lady's hair. It was insane. She won't let go of it. Even when they get her and they're cuffing her up and shit and trying to, I think they put her in feet, like everything. Like she was an animal or something. She's spitting. And a lady's trying to cover her face so she can't be spitting on people. She's really got a thing because she says she didn't want to sit by a fat lady on the plane. That's what set her off. This lady's too fat and she'll sit by her, so she starts freaking the fuck out. Like she didn't have enough room in her seat or something. From the top of the lady's head, because all you see is the lady's hair getting pulled and shit. I mean, she didn't look like she was like a trailer size or anything. She just looked like, maybe she was like chunky or something. I don't know. She didn't look like giant. Like if you come walking up and you really are sitting next to somebody who's like 600 pounds, 400 pounds or whatever, and they're taking over more because they're supposed to have to buy 2 chairs. So with certain weight restrictions or something. And I think those people usually know because they've had if they've ever flown before, because they've had this humiliating experience where people have said they're in my seat and they've had to buy more than 1 seat and stuff. I've seen that kind of stuff before. So, yeah, but anyways, that stuff has been on the news. Like that was like a whole thing for a while where you kind of questioned, what's ethical behavior? How do we really treat people? But then we were just like, fuck it, let's go. Just treat people like shit. Who cares? Everybody treats me like shit. It's the victim doggy dog world. Everybody's poor me. Fuck everybody else. It's just me. I'm so sad. I'm just drowning in my sadness. Fuck the world. And that's the world becomes just fuckery. So that's why we all have to change gears. We all have to go into, looking for the little things to be happy about, looking for gratitude, feeling excited about things, and pulling more of that energy in, more energy of appreciation and stuff. But, you have to lick your wounds in order to get there. You can't just go from point A to point B. You have to, take the journey. So hold on. Okay. Okay. So, anyways, so I was, because it's trippy because how you can start noticing when you're not reactive. So, what typically happens is like a person is triggered, which everybody's triggered right now. So, the slightest interaction, just because I've had so many strange ones where it's like, what? What? And it's like, but everybody's just got these triggers, and you don't know how you're triggering other people. And I mean, you just walk through the room and it's like, God, I hate the way they walk sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just our fuses are ignited, kind of. And so, confirmation. Or is it just like a little? But, anyways, either way. So, not the people, 'cause I'm talking about me, myself, and I was, yeah, the triggers. Okay, so typically how it is. So people trigger back and forth. But so this person becomes triggered. So they say something to this person. This person takes it slanted because they're taking it in. And it can be people pick up on certain things, like, but your wounds make you more raw. And so, because I think a lot of people pick up on things, but it's crazy too, because it's like a scripted event. So you're supposed to pick up on it. You're supposed to pick up on the cues. You're not supposed to just go drown yourself in your sorrows. You're supposed to pick up on the cues, but you're supposed to also not be reactive, because that is lower chakra. And so you trigger, and then this person triggers this person. And so then this person reacts, but this person's already reacted because they've already been triggered and they've already taken their trigger and thrown it over here. So they've taken the hot ball and thrown it over in you. You grab the ball and you're like, motherfucker, and you throw it back, and you throw it back hard usually once you're reactive. Like, what the fuck? And then you start getting the rush of how this person has failed you, how you've been failed in life. So the dark energy jumps on board like, hell yeah, go for it. And then you start hearing all this shit and you're just like, yeah, motherfucking bullshit. And like you say, you get super triggered and super reactive. And so then battle begins, and it just is like, you know, everybody's got their weapons and their shields, and they're out there going after each person because they've got to, whatever it is. There's lots of different things. They need to be understood. That was mine. It's like, you're not understanding me. And then that whole leads to a whole thing of never feeling understood. They've got that in one of their, well, I think in a whole bunch of personality tests. You never feel understood. Well, I really don't. Like, so. And so, anyways, that would be my thing, because people would react to something and be like, wait a minute, you're not understanding what I'm saying or something. But it was weird because there was a lot of where I didn't realize that our damage is our lenses, how we look and perceive, and how things, how we accept or react to things. And so um, we don't all have the same reactions. We don't all hear the same thing and get the same thing happen. Like, there's lots of people. Did you hear what they said? What did you think about this? And then sometimes people are like, yeah, I heard that. And other people are like, no, I heard something totally different. So but the person who hears it, it's supposed to be heard the way they hear it. It's a scripted thing. Your life is laid out for you, and you are programmed. And so, but you are here to, it's like kind of like overriding the programs of learning, and because it gives you more insight into experience. So, and that develops your empathy and compassion, and that's of the light. So that moves you up into the light vibration. So those kind of things move you into the light. And so, yeah. I mean, you can think that you have to live and say his name every day or whatever, and that's going to pull you into the light. Or you can live the journey that he talks about, walk the walk, and that will pull you into the light. So, and it's the things that are the love, acceptance, and things like that are the light. So that pulls you into the light. The other things don't like that. So the so anyway, so you have the trigger, you have the initial battle, the reaction. So my feelings are hurt, and the automatic response, which that is another level of trigger back and forth. So then you just leveled up on your triggers. Now you're in full blown battle sometimes, and it can get worse and worse. So where people are storming out and slamming doors and not speaking to each other, moving out, getting hotels, uh, uh, getting sides. Yeah, that's one thing, is to get people on your side, like develop teams, and that can divide in families and stuff. This stuff happens all the time in every range, of every relationship, because that's the opponent component of our relationship. It's the two energies going back and forth. And so when you can learn to harness your energy, and that's crazy because that's what we're going into, this different way of energy, this quantum field of energy. And we're leaving this harnessed electrical current that they, they didn't create it, they harnessed it. And but it's like in a negative. Everything is not harmonic, not harmonious, not harmonic. It's in a negative. Uh, yeah, it's like singing in a nightmare kind of thing. It's like everything is out of sync in their thing, and the so then the triggers go, and the people go in a toxic like encounter. They go in different directions. They don't heal their wounds or whatever. And so what I have found is, so when you don't just react, that doesn't mean you're not going to feel anything. You're going to feel, you're going to get the rush of, the all of the wounds, all of the where you've been kicked and beaten down and feeling rough and nobody cares about me, kind of thing. So you'll have those things come, but you don't react to them. You don't jump on. You just take them, and you don't stuff them. You don't run out and buy a fucking chocolate cake and pound not a pound of ice cream, a gallon of ice cream and a 6-pack of beer. You don't do that either. You, and this is where, you could say, like, this is the time when you go out for a walk in nature. You go out and sit by a stream and think. You go sit and just let the process occur. In a process, when you go into that state of me and my mind, me and my soul communicating. And so then you go into that state, then you start understanding things. You start seeing things. You can see like the things that you can grow and stuff. Like, so it can be a lot of different things. It depends on what the situation is. And so, but that is more of like how to handle it as you move out of the reactive phase. And so, because the reactive phase just keeps you in toxic fighting with other people because of how you feel, when most likely you've taken what they've said in a way to trigger you, because that's the way it's supposed to be. You're not taking it wrong, you're taking it the way you're supposed to, but you're taking when it happens and you're running the opposite way. I mean, you could be leaning into it, you're running from it. So go and take your, like, whatever the person says. And then a lot of times, because that's where it starts being vulnerable, when you start putting yourself out there. Could you clarify what you're saying? Like, maybe I'm misinterpreting what you're saying, and having people be more clear. And so that's one thing too. But that can be your thing. When somebody's triggering you, you may want to just say, wait a minute, I think I'm taking this wrong. So could you clarify exactly what you're saying? And then if you're taking it right, then just be, okay, I just got to sit with this because I need to process. Don't let people push you into the next thing. Take your time when you need, let you allow yourself a process to think and understand and let yourself see your wounds you're filtering through your information through your wounds. Theirs is coming through theirs. So that's why you don't need to have this merging to please. Well, I got to please them. Well, they're broken. So you want to just, share their crutch. It's like, no, you got to get comfortable in being able to be independent in your way you look at things. You don't have to be like, well, we all look at it the same. No, you can be independent. It doesn't mean you're not good enough or you're weird or anything like that. Everybody has to come into this letting go of all of these things that hold them and let them become themselves. And people just don't realize all of the traps that they are held and bound by. But that's where it's about to become very apparent in this awakening. What is holding them, the chains that bind them. And that is this part of when it flips, there's gonna be a lot of people breaking free from the chains. And that's cool too, because it's kind of like this, just as like looking at some of this, be like, this is the 1940s playing out again. Then we also have like the independence from slavery playing out again, and breaking the chains, the getting out from under the foot of the corporation. And so there's a lot of these energies. Like I said, it's like this full circle. Things are going full circle. And there's a lot of talk on that parade thing. And so there's a lot of negative. He's trying to wave his big fat, or his, what would they say, his little mushroom penis in front of everybody, to show them he's in control because he's so insecure about his penis, apparently. Like, I don't think, I think that he's had plenty of girls who would take any old penis he's got. I don't think that he had any problem with what he had going, whatever it was. But also, Stormy has come out like she doesn't know him that way. So that was all a big old fucking thing. But it's all been, to humiliate him and make him feel bad about himself. Or to make us hate him so that we don't want to, not be on his side or something. When his side is the one that is, creating the storm, creating the change. So let me see back where I was. Okay. Get off of Donald and Storm, the people. Okay, so the people want to be negative and hateful. And, oh, okay, yeah, because this is when the energy changes and then they see their biases and stuff. So they'll see what it is really holding them and the connection to this world, because it's kind of childish, where insecurities, we conform and stuff. So, but this is the growing out of that, not the uh, the anti-conform, like growing into your own. And yeah, and now I see it kind of like uh, a container of like weeds. Really, I've seen weeds or wildflowers or whatever, flowers in a container, but then they start like sneaking out and coming over here. That's what we're doing. We're sneaking out and we're coming over here. And so we can grow. We can grow as big as we want. We're not crowded, but you crowd yourself by trying to please everybody. And then when you start seeing, like, really, we're all in a broken kind of, not like broken, like how we think of like, oh, you're all broken. But there's things that are, see, if you say broken, then some people would think like, oh, we're all broken. But it's not like that, because it's not, there's nothing wrong with you. But there's parts that you are, it's like it's like a classic car getting real done up. Like everything is getting all fixed, all back to, original, and extra little things, a cool little lighter, every little thing. And that is So you want to say, well, the car was broken. It is, but it's more like how we look at ourselves or something. It's this way of being able to, shine ourselves up, expand ourselves. So it's not like, you're broken, but you're always in a state of change and metamorphosis. So it's not broken, like, oh, I can't get fixed, I'm just broken. No, it's in a state of metamorphosis. It's in a state of growth and evolution. That is the state of the energy, because it's always in movement, and it's always in expansion. And so that is kind of like how we expand and we grow. But anyway, so when you start realizing all the people around you are in the same state, wounded, broken, however you want to look at it, everybody is in these, nobody's perfect, and nobody's expected to be. And in the conflicts of character are as big as you make them. Like, they don't have to be as big as, some people, it's just like huge. Like I said, like, you're blinking too loud. But when you let every little thing bother you, but then when you got to think, why does I let every little thing bother me? And so, to me, it's like to kind of slow down, because then, I could take it as like she's saying, well, hurry up and get the fuck out of here, because I want my car in here, and she could have been saying that to me, but I'm taking it in another level because of my wounds that come in on me. And so then I could take it and get mad and do, and you can take things however you take them. There's nothing wrong with how you take them, but the thing is stopping and looking how you're taking them, and seeing, like, your own reaction. And then, but the cool thing is now is how I'm getting to see, like, how that works, because then, because it not fighting, not going and arguing, then, things just go about regular. It's not like tension and stuff. And so there has been, like, I'm not saying there's never any tension, there is, but I don't know how two adults can live in not there be ever tension. And so they, but when you don't fight and argue and call each other names and slam doors and throw things and shit like that, then, it's everything just stays kind of the same. But then you can have other conversations, and then it's more like, oh, so I was taking it this way, but really it was way more of like, let's move towards that. But, what are you doing? You want to, and there can be times of like, God, I wish that nobody was here with me, because I've had people staying with me, and I know that feeling. So I don't have any judgment on anybody, what they're going through them themselves. I mean, you're always going to, when you are in a relationship with somebody, like I've said, I'm here to work on these mom wounds and stuff like that, which it's trippy because it's not just this direction. This direction teaches me about this direction. So the things that happen here show me what I do over here. And there's so many things that I'll see from this direction. I'll be like, oh my God, my kids have told me I do that all the time. And well, you don't understand. It's just like, but we start seeing, then you start seeing this looping of behaviors. And so, anyways, wherever you can break the looping and, make changes occur. And so that is, so anyways, that is a part of the mother wound. I'm not just saying, it's just, the damage that you felt by growing up. I'm saying that it's this whole thing, and getting to see it from a lot of different perspectives. And that's what was trippy about this movie that came on. And I'm having a problem to see one movie all day. It takes all day to watch one movie. So if I'm really watching something, sometimes if I'm not watching anything and a movie starts going and it's just like, I'll catch a glimpse here or there of something, but something sometimes will catch my attention, and then I'll sit and watch it. And so I have to start it over, rewind it, and I'll get busy, and then I have to pause it. And so it will take all day to watch it when I'm trying to actually watch it, because I don't know. I'm just doing stuff. And like yesterday, I think I had a 2 hour nap somewhere in there. I was busy as, it was just like the days are just flying and then they're so segmented. It's like, what day is it? When is it? And yesterday it was so windy here. And just keeps happening. The weirdest stuff just keeps happening. Just weird shit after weird shit. And so everything is just discombobulated and time has no reference. It just seems like we're just like, it just seems like we're just in a dream. And so and then go to sleep and then you're just, the dreams are crazy. You're just going, it's just as real as this. It's like you're just going here and going there. And I don't know, it's just weird. And so, what was I going to say? Oh, there's this movie. So this movie that I watched, and it was called Be Home Before Dark. No, Home Before Dark or something like that. And it was 1996 movie, and it had Catherine Ross in it. So it had some other people in it. I don't remember everybody's name, but anyways, so it was from the girls, the teenage. Well, she wasn't. I would say she was like 12 years old or something. She could have been like 13, but it was in the 60s, and it was during the time when JFK got killed. And so it was, and it's from this little girl's perspective. And so she goes to school with the nuns and stuff. The nuns are everywhere. Like, everything's the nuns. And when people are having conversations, it's like, even the kids were like, if you don't get married in the church, it's not real. I was like, man, look at this programming. And how they forced us, like, you got to do this, it's not real. It's like people used to just go out and just claim each other and wrap a rope around their fingers and kiss each other in front of everybody and say, like, we're a couple now. It's like they were just as much a couple as, I mean, people don't even stay a couple, they get married. So it's all facade, it's all bullshit. So anyways, in the storyline, though, the problems that this girl is facing are serious fucking shit, man. God. At first it was, she was playing with her friends or something and comes home and then she starts getting in trouble because you should be here. You should be helping. We need your help. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this, the firstborn kid? And now she's got all this pressure. She's got to do all this stuff. It was like, dang, man. Because I know the pressures of being the firstborn kid, but and even when you're the firstborn kid, even when you have the awareness and you try not to do that, you still end up doing it. But it's part of the roles of, being firstborn kids. And so but anyways, so this girl is, she's a sweet girl. And she just goes up to go see her mom or whatever. She didn't start fighting. And she's just really apologetic and stuff. So she goes and starts helping and everything. So how it ends up being, though, is her mom is in a mental state. Her mom can't do shit. She is super depressed. And the nuns, everybody knows. And so the mom won't get up. She won't do anything. But the reason is because when her, and this would have happened like 10, because this firstborn girl was like the replacement for the loss of her other three. So she had a 5-year-old and twin 4-year-olds, and she was driving and got in a wreck and all her kids were killed. So she lost her shit. And at some point she must have decided that she was going to have more kids, like replace them. You can't just replace something like that. Like, you have to really be wanting to go in and do that and have more. You can't just be like, well, this will make me feel better if I have these, because there's a lot of trauma. And then you just spread out trauma on the kid. And so it's hard to watch, man. But I was so engulfed in this movie. And in this girl, I could just feel her. I don't know if it's because I could relate to some of the stuff she was going through back in the 60s and stuff. But anyway, so her mom ends up, when JFK gets assassinated, she ends up trying to kill herself. So I guess her thing was so traumatic at the time. He had showed up at the hospital to give his condolences to her. And so she was stuck on this time loop of him coming in. So every time her daughter would talk to her, that's all she'd talk about. And she would get confused over what kid. Like, she seemed like a mom who was like strung out on drugs or something, who's just lost in her own world and just depressed and crying and couldn't handle anything. And the girl became this like caretaker. Like, she's going to take care of her. She's going to make her, she's going to fill in the gaps, which is so much pressure for the kid. It was like, oh gosh, dang. And so she, um, uh, the mom loses it when he gets killed, and so she tries to do herself in. So she has to go to the hospital. So then the kids have to be separated out. And the one was in school, so she was going to have to stay with the aunt. Well, the aunt was a whole storyline in itself, and the girl, through this, she's writing the story. She's writing the story, and the story ends up getting published at the end. So I was thinking, I bet you that this is a real, one of those real stories of an author's life, and that this is, they started writing their stories, and it became some. But I don't know. I didn't see if it was said it was based on a true story. But a lot of stories, they take some story that is a known story, like they've heard this story, and they make it into a movie or something. But then they say, well, it's may sound like other characters, but it's not, because then we only have to change like little things when you there's like a certain copyright art thing or something. As long as you change 3 or 6 things or something in the story, the picture, then it's not thieving someone's story or something. So anyways, but I don't know. I feel like that this is a real story of this person, and it's not like it's so far-fetched or something. But anyways, so mom goes to the hospital thing. She has to go stay with her aunt, and she does not want to. She's been taking care of all of this stuff, and she is being odd man out. So she has to go stay with this aunt who's this whole character. I think it's the sister of the other sister of her sister. It's on her mom's side. On the dad's side, the dad went to stay with his sister up at the hospital in Boston where the mom was, and he took the 2 little kids because she had 2 more twins. So she has this older girl who's like around teenish kind of age, preteen kind of age, and then she has these 2 little kids. I don't know, they weren't in school or anything. They're like 3 or 4 years old, and they're twins, so they're just going all over the place. And so then the mom goes in the hospital, and she's ready to just give up on life. She didn't want to be bothered with anything. She didn't want to come home, nothing. The guy's having all this pressure. The little girl, she's willing to do anything. I'll run the house. I'll take care of everything. Just get me back home. And so there's a good storyline, though, that goes in while she's at her aunt's. It's good. And then, but she does blackmail the aunt and get over to back home. And so, and which carries more in the storyline too, with the tension between the aunt and her as things go forward. But so she goes home, and she goes through a lot more stuff. But I was just like, man, this girl, of all of this responsibility, especially like while mom was gone and she was having to take care of all this stuff. And then the dad couldn't handle shit at all. He was falling apart. He couldn't handle life. It was like too much pressure. It was all this money going out. There was no one for him. His wife wouldn't come home. She's just like, no, she's just going to stay in the hospital. And then at one point, the girl hears him arguing, and he's saying, why aren't you coming home? The doctors, everybody's released you. Everybody said you're fine. And why don't you come home? And she's just like, I can't. And so then more things happen and stuff. But I was just like, man, this wound, this mom wound in this little girl, and the things like, this is from her perspective at that time. But man, go talk to a girl who's been through something like that in her 40s and 50s. It's very different perspective. And so anyways, I just found it interesting because I have met people who have gone through those kinds of things before, where they are the caretaker, like well, I know somebody right now that's going on, like, where they just have to babysit all the time, and all that pressure is put on them, that they can't just go be a kid and have fun and stuff. So, anyways, there's just all sorts of experiences. There's all sorts of experiences playing out. There's all sorts of experiences for us to look at. And they all have to do with these mom wounds and stuff like that, and but that's the link. That's what we're birthed into. It's like by a very distinct choice over what lessons, what family, what lineage, where you go, where you fit in to go through certain experiences, because they change all the time. And just like I said, it's like when you are birthed through, it's like you're an echo of who they were at that time. And people are always changing. And so you are a part of them that comes out is this experience. And then something comes out of you and something comes out of that, and it just keeps going and going. But it is a trail. It's like a chain is made, and that's why we can that's what we are here to expand on right now, is the where we fit into the chain. And it is it kind of is breaking the chain, but it's also making it stronger. So the more that we pull into ourselves and not be affected by the things going on either side, because I can be affected on either side, because I have a chain that goes. I've been, I mean, like, at this point, I could be a great grandparent at any moment, and so the um, the chain goes into it just keeps going and going and going. And then that also is when you're over here, and you can have a lot of feelings about something when you're in the experience, but when the experience, you pull back from the experience. So it no longer is your experience. So, like the time when your kids were 4 years old, that's only in that period of time. And when you are in that period of time of being a parent, being overwhelmed by all this stuff going on, it can seem like it's going to be forever. It could seem like, oh my God, how do I even get through this? Like, this is day after day, and it's overwhelming. You don't know what to do. There's always been test after test, and it's just like, oh shit. And some, just people like can't handle it. And I think a lot of things, through support, if you can find people who are supportive, then you can get through things a lot easier. But there's a lot of isolation that goes on in our world, and so people are drowning in their own pain and suffering. But anyways, so and we've got this period of time, because we have not been dealing with it right, because we've been trapped in this habitat game, not paying attention to what we should have been paying attention to. So then you have all these people who have all these wounds that have not been dealt with, but this is where the universe is about to rip off the band-aid and be like, figure it out, bitch. And they're not gonna it's not like a being or anything, it's an energy. And so it's not playing. This is a time of change. And everybody came for this time of change, whatever it is going to be for them. It's for them. Everybody has their own thing, their own cycle, their own stuff that they're doing. And so but this is the period of time where it's like there's going to be no playing. And that is where all this energy that keeps coming in, that people keep getting overwhelmed with, because it's poking holes in their storyline. And so you can see how overwhelmed they're getting just with holes getting poked. Just wait till it flips. Wait till it's like the curtains are open. Now you see that is going to be intense. That's why it's going slow, because just the slowness is overwhelming. And so but it's getting faster and faster and more tense and more tense. And it's winding up, because it's going to spin out the other way. And so we're definitely winding up, which is also winding up, is, it's funny how it could be taken in different ways. Like you could be winding up, finishing, and you could be winding up, getting ready to go. And so with that, but it's both things. And so you have this completion that's happening, but you have to be aware of your stuff. And that is what I'm talking about is the yeah, perplexity of not being reactive. So that going and taking the time to think things through, and it's like you really learn a lot of stuff. And you see, like, you know, it's like someone's feelings are hurt, and so then you're gonna let your feelings get hurt because their feelings are hurt. It's like when we stop doing that, when we start being like, oh, they're having a trigger, they're having a, you know, because uh, that's the way the world works. And so something is having them be triggered, and maybe they don't know what to do with theirs. But when you know what to do with yours, then it does give you so much more insight into relationships. And then it's like, you know, it makes you real glad, like when you don't react and you don't like just dig in the wounds, stomp people when they're down, kick them when they're down. Like you start really realizing, like, man, when I'm just going at somebody, they're already down. And now I'm just putting fuel on the fire, which is making them more defensive and more angry. And then we're getting our feelings hurt. We're becoming more defensive and more angry. And then we've got a whole hostile environment going. And so the more that we can be mindful, the more our world becomes peaceful, the more that we can live in a state of peace rather than a state of tension. And so it's very productive to take time and go through and you know, it's not that you're broken. Like, this is what I've seen, what I've come to realize. It's not like you're broken. So whatever reactions you have, whatever feelings come up, that doesn't mean like there's something wrong with you. Like that sense of broken isn't there's not anything wrong with you. There's things that you always are trying to fix and shine up and tweak, like, but it's not like that you're a broken soul and you gotta be a fix. No, you're in a state of growth, and that growth and expansion wants to be observed. It wants to be created, and so you are the creator. And so it's an expansion through experience. And so, but you have to use the experiences properly, otherwise you just become in a karmic loop. But when you can use it by learning how to look at things from other perspectives, then you are using it to gain knowledge, gain exposure, gain, yeah, like exposure, more of you as out there. And so then you are, then to me, you're using your time more wisely. You're using your experience more wisely and being aware of not to try and get in the karmic entanglements, to realize, like, when you're being vindictive or revengeful or any of the things, you know, is it can get you trapped in this karmic loop with somebody. So that is where you want to be a lot more hesitant to be well, to be reactive for sure, but it's just be more more thinking things through. That is basically slowing down and thinking things through, taking time to percolate on your thoughts and let them sit and go. Don't just feel like you have to do something right away, but when you're going through that, then you may notice, like, oh my God, why would I do that? Why would I think that? Why would the things that you go through, then you can start thinking, like, God, I'm a real dick, man. I'm an idiot. I'm an asshole. And that's not what it's for. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. It's more of a witnessing, more of an acknowledgement, more of like, oh, so that bothers me. That really gets me. And so it's like becoming more aware of it. And then the more aware you become of it, the less reactive, because the more you see it coming. And the more it's like, oh, yeah, this is going to bother me. So let's just see what comes up, but knowing not to just be reactive. That's the part that it gets better and better and better, because then you don't have more ordeals going all the time like this, more tension and more uh, anger and more of the negative energy in your life, you know. Oh yeah, yesterday I had another interaction with that deer. Man, me and that deer, I mean, face to face every day now. And I was talking to him. He's just sitting there listening to me. I was like, I don't know. There's a whole cool thing about nature and the being interacting with it and stuff, and being a part. And it's just like, I don't know. It just makes you feel more real or something. It's just, I don't know. There's excitement to it. And that will be the thing if I do end up going to Yakima, which, you know, anything can happen. Anything can happen still today, tomorrow, I mean, we're at the thing. Like, it's going and going and going. We're going to be flipping. I just don't, you know, we don't know the day or time. We don't know which thing is going to be the thing that does it, what it is. And, but it's coming. It's flipping is coming. And so, and it's getting closer and closer. And so, I don't know, you know, I would think something's going to flip before I would actually be moving, but I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, because I kept thinking, well, if I have to move in like in the beginning of September, it's hard to imagine we're going to go the whole summer without any big thing. Like, I don't know. Like, anything can happen at any moment. Like, fucking somebody could blow fucking Seattle up. Like, I mean, anything. That volcano could blow. What was that one, too, that I had just seen? It was like something trippy with oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know if this is real, but it was like, what? So I don't know if this is real, like this AI stuff, but it also, even if it's not totally real, it is also a preliminary mind-opening thing. It's to get us to pay attention and realize something. So if it's AI coming in and giving us this storyline or whatever, but it was so the story, and it was like a news person, and so, and they had interviews and stuff, talking to different people, and so the story that is on this thing, whatever, if it's real or not real, I don't know, but it's Cleveland, and Cleveland had a huge homeless population, and it was just like they said, like overnight it was just gone. It was like, I don't remember the numbers, but like, you know, 100 people showed up every night to sleep in this place, and now there's 6 people showing up, and everybody keeps saying, you know, people are disappearing, but nobody knows where they're going. It was a whole bunch that disappeared at once, and which I had already said, there's going to be groups of people are going to be disappearing at once, or dying at once or whatever. But also, to me, that is, there's the Soylent Green, the harvest situation, like there's a lot of things. Oh, and just think about that too. Like, there's people who get grossed out by homeless people. They're dirty and stinky, and their hair is all grown, their nails are all grimy. They're just a mess. And and they're just being tossed in a thing to be put into. Like, people don't even want to smell them or be around them, and now they're consuming them. Oh, like, that's gonna get to people. But there's something about it. Just like that PETA thing, just like the KFC commercial, all these things are to get us to realize, because that's going to be a hard one for people to really realize. It's definitely going to be a hard one, like what they've been consuming. And so that is, so you can see it slowly rolling in, because once it hits, it's going to be like, I don't know, we'll probably have, most of the people will be like sick for a week. They won't be able to get up out of bed. They'll be puking. Like, they'll be grossed out. I can't eat anything ever again. So I don't know. It's not gonna be pretty though. People are gonna freak out. So and you know, we all have eaten this stuff. So because they put it in everything. Like, even if you were a vegetarian and you ate any of that stuff, they put it in everything. So, whatever. As they've just been feeding us the, you know, the leftovers of their stuff that they need to dispose of. So, let me think if there was, like, I don't know. When I got up, didn't, I didn't go look at anything. I just saw that I had one message from one of my daughters, so I looked at that, and it was, I'd seen that video because I sent it to her, and she said she would watch it tomorrow, and I was like, oh yeah, I got that video. It was so weird, as if they are despairing, because that was already going in San Francisco, and then they said these white vans were pulling up, and then the people were leaving, and they were being told that they were being taken to a different place. But see, there's different things that can be going on too, because Donald had already said in the last time, or either during the last attempt, that we were going to clean up the streets. We were going to go and get the homeless people, and if they want to go into healing and they want to go into treatment, we're going to help them and all that stuff. Which I was thinking, oh, so if they're going to start taking people who are at their worst and taking them to centers to start healing if they want to. And so there's that could be going too, where they're taking people and trying to get help for them. But also, you get in a white van, you can also end up down at the meat packing plant. So go either way. So, you know, all the different things are going to be happening, but we're going to have more of the other one. It's going to start going. So whatever it's been, it's going to be transitioning into where people are going to start going more into the healing centers and stuff. And my mom said all the time, all day long, they have commercials on her channel of these healing beds. And she said it's a lot all the time. She said where it used to be a whole bunch of DRUG commercials, and she said it's really changing into a whole bunch of healing, about these different healing beds and stuff. So that's where we're going to be going into, and that's how we're going to end up living a lot longer, because we're going to know how to take care of ourselves. We're going to learn how to heal ourselves, not just drag this tension and anger. And because one thing is too, is when you get to this point and you're looking this direction, a lot of people, the further they get from the experience, the more they don't have the same emotions, and so then they instead turn it into guilt and shame, and they wish they would have been a better parent, they wish they would have done this different. Because I was even thinking, like, Stella was struggling so much, and I'm always, you know, trying to be super loving and everything to her, because I don't want to have all these feelings. Like, after you lose somebody, then all you can think of is every fucking mean thing you said, and every moment of your impatient behavior. But see, that's what you get to see. That's what this person leaving is showing you, is these parts of yourself. And it takes a lot for us to be able to see. So that just comes with the territory, because I was already getting a rush of like because lately, when I'm like having to pull them, you know, like she wants to go this direction, think like that, and she does not have the strength or something she used to. I mean, sometimes it's like, no, I'm trying to pull a building, but there's been a couple times where I've yanked and she's fell. It's like, oh my God, it makes me feel horrible. And that's the kind of stuff, like, that's the kind of things that just keep tapping away, and you keep seeing it over and over. You keep feeling horrible, like, God, I wish I would have been better. I wish I would have done better. I wish I would have had more patience. That's why when every opportunity that I have to work on my patience that I do, I want to be reactive. Like, the dogs, when I'm out on this fucking sloth walk, and it's driving me crazy, and I just want to go. I got nothing to do, no place to be, but I gotta get there. And so I'll be like all tense, you know, and it's just like, okay, just relax, just calm down. You've got patience, just go with the flow, you'll be okay, you know. And just kind of slow my pace, and just slow your breathing, slow everything down, and just go with it. And then because that is the part when we look back, and where the people look and they see like their kids, their grandkids going forward, you know, and uh, the the parts that they see, the things that they did and stuff, it will eat at them and eat at them. And that, to me, I swear to God, it's part of the aging. It's part of uh, the people just start getting down on themselves and look for every reason to hate themselves. But that's not what all this is about. This isn't about to teach you to hate yourself. This is to teach you to love yourself. And that's when you are just keep focusing on hating yourself. That's because you're in the dark energy. That's because you're in the low vibration. Because you got to break free from that. You got to break free from that tension, from that anger, from that shame, from that guilt, from that pain. And you gotta, in that process, you gotta use forgiveness. You gotta use insight and seeing, like, oh, they're troubled too. We're all troubled. It's not like they're trying to be mean to me. They've got problems. Everybody's got problems, and we're all expecting everyone to make us feel better. And so they're not allowed to have problems. They're only here for me. They're here to make me feel better in life. It's like, nope, nobody's gonna do that for you. Matter of fact, people are just going to keep sucking the life out of you like a vampire. You got to learn how to give it back to yourself, take care of yourself, and then because you're the only one who really can. And then that is where we stop suckling off of each other's energy, and we start being independent, and we start feeling better, and we start knowing how to take care of ourselves and not be dependent on, if this person's going to fail me today, and basing our life in expectation and wanting other people to make us feel better. And it's so easy to, people gravitate into cycles of cycles of toxic behaviors and stuff. And so we need to break those patterns. That's why a lot of relationships and stuff start breaking apart through this, as things start changing, because as people change, things can't stay the same. And so your relationships and stuff start changing. And a lot of people feel like abandoned or isolated or whatever, but really it's more of a positive thing of breaking out of certain cycles. And even if certain people stay in certain cycles, you can still break out of them and not be in a part of them. And so but it can be lonely, but it isn't. It's I know. Well, one thing, it's like counterproductive to go back into them to have something to do. But another thing is that we're going in a new direction. So everybody's going to be going in these directions. And as everybody starts coming into their own, new groups will form, and they'll be healthier. They'll be a lot less toxic. There's a lot of toxic relationships and stuff. And it's funny because we all are trying to, like, protect one another by not hurting their feelings or something, but really it keeps someone trapped when you're not honest about something, because you don't want to hurt their feelings. That's hard. I'm not saying, like, you gotta go out and do that, but a lot of people, they don't say things that they should say because they think that that will be mean, that will hurt that person's feelings. But really, this person just keeps staying trapped because they need somebody to push them out of the loop. But even when I was in my own loop, because in my relationship loop of, this guy's gonna fix my life, this guy's gonna fix my life, and going through those cycles of negative relationships, then the what was I gonna say? The negative relationships, because even when I was in the loop and people would point it out to me, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see how to get out of it. I had no idea how to get out of it. And but see, if I would, like, you think of it like how a lot of people think of the world, and you think like, well, what if I would have thought of it sooner? What if I would have just thought of it? Well, then what would you have done with the rest of your life? What about all these other transits? Like, you're not supposed to figure it out before you figure it out. You're supposed to figure it out when you figure it out, not before. And this is another thing too, is I saw this guy talking. He said, this was yesterday I saw him. He said, if you don't believe in the higher realms or whatever, I'm going to tell you a story that will get you to believe. And so it was just one of those, I don't know, kind of typical stories of somebody canceling their flight, and then the flight getting just wrecking, 450 people getting killed, but this guy didn't go on the plane. And it was like this whole weird thing happened because he went to this place, he met this guy, he's talking to him, and the guy said, will you help me for the day? And he goes, well, I'll have to change my flight. And he said, okay, well, change your flight. And so he cancels his flight to go the next day or whatever. So he stays to help this guy, and he's there at this place, and he's helping this guy. And so then he has to take a call, and he goes out, and it's his boss or something, and says, how did you know to cancel your flight? And he's like, what are you talking about? He goes, do you not know that it's on the news? And he said, no. He said, your plane crashed and everybody got killed except 2 people. And then 2 people had canceled their flights, you and somebody else. And he's like, whoa, that's weird. And so he goes in to look for the guy who he's been talking to, and he can't find him. So he goes around, he's asking everybody, have you seen that guy I was talking to? And they were like, well, we don't want to hurt your feelings or anything, but you've been talking to yourself all day. He's like, what? And so, because this guy was telling him all sorts of things, he was telling him, to stay there. So these supernatural things that occur in our lives to take us in a certain direction, that's real. Like those angels or guardian angels, that's real. And so, but the thing, the guy telling the story, he was like, how he dodged death. That's where people, like, they always go into this, like they've got some kind of control over things, and you can dodge death. You can, you got away from it or something. No, it's not how it works. It's other learning experiences. So whatever with this guy, he needed to have this interaction with some guide or something, for some reason in his life, and he needed to have this experience of, being a close call and seeing, God, I keep getting these waves of nausea. Man, I feel nauseous. And these weird headaches, and so it's got to be the energy, but oh my God, all of a sudden I feel like I'm puke. So anyways, let's look at my hair. I ordered, they were on sale on Amazon for $28, so I ordered another bag of those shoes because I just finished the other one. These ones are supposed to be here today, I think. And then my tooth, it has like certain sensitivities. I'm not saying there's no sensitivity, but it's not this aching how it was, and this every little breath I took, every little movement, it was like, oh my God, it's not like that now. That just like went away just real quick. And it was weird because I was trying to make it go away. So I don't know how much my mind just like, nope, we're not having that anymore. Or if it was that I don't know. These things are so, it's hard to know because it can be so many things. But I do know that you can't dodge death. Like when it comes, it's your time out. That's it. It's your exit. It's your exit strategy. It's your exit plane. It's the coming to pick you up and get you out of here situation. And it's not something that you need to fear, and it's not something you can dodge. It's not like somebody's doing it wrong. They did it wrong and then they died. It's like, no, it's like, it's the whatever we get left with is just the story for us to, it's part of our it's part of our experience. It's part of our getting to see ourselves, like I said, seeing these sides of yourself, because they come so up into your thing, which has so much to do with guilt and shame, which is part of the process of loss. And so anyways, you just go through all of your bad behavior, everything you wish you could do different. But that is also part of what happens to people as they age, and all the things that they wish they could do different starts eating them up, and then they get sicker and sicker. So there's so many things you got to release. You got to forgive yourself. You're not expected to be perfect. You're here to just experience and learn and to be. And then we got to get a lot more into that. What is it to just be alive, to just be around people, to just go and live, to get a fruit off the tree and let the juice drip off your hands as you eat it right off the tree, to go and talk to a stranger and find out what happened in their life, just all the things that there are out there to experience and then to go and to do them. And God, I got wheeze. But there have been the sprain and then the wind. I don't know. I don't know. Supposedly they're not poisoning us anymore, but I don't know. It seems like they are to me. But it also could be this energy and the frequency and stuff. Our bodies are not comfortable as it's changing or something. I don't know. So, but again, I would assume we'll understand more as more things play out. But right now, a lot of the people you listen to, they're just guessing, oh, well, we've quantum leaped. We've jumped into a new timeline. We're probably changing timelines again tomorrow. It's like, what is changing? Like, what? Like, I don't understand this. Like, jumping timelines. We're jumping timelines. It's like, we came in on this one. This is the experience we came in for. And the experience is going to play out. You come in with a script. You come in with everything is set up. Everything is, it's a storyline. It's like a book. It's like that's what it's like. Yeah, it's like we're reading a book and these people keep trying to change the book in the middle of it. It's like, why are you reading the energy as we've jumped timelines? Why don't you just, I mean, if everything goes dark, I don't know, there's light and dark, but that's the movement, the breathing of the universe. We're getting more into a rhythm maybe. Like, but to sit here and think like, we're reading a story, but you got these people who are just like, nope, that didn't happen. Nope, we've jumped. No, it's a different ending now. It's like, well, it's weird. So, anyways, but we're in a storyline. The changing timelines is the going from the dark to the light. That is each independent person. We're doing it on a grand scale, but each independent person is changing from your dark to your light. That's changing your timelines. That's going at life more productively and not reactive. That's going up your chakra system. That is doing your healing. That is taking moving through life with intention and not being just reactive to the turmoil that goes on around you. So that's the actual changing timelines when you're on the one where you are just drowning, being suffocated by the life itself. And then you see, like, to save yourself, figure out what your problem is, figure out what the problems are around you, save yourself. Then you switch into a new timeline with direction and intention. And in that one, you were always going to make those changes when you made them. There's no surprising the universe. It's not like they don't know what you're going to do today when you get up. It's like, no, your higher self, knows exactly what you're going to do today. It's already done. It's already written. So, you can keep fighting and keep thinking you're outsmarting the universe out there, but I don't know. That's an illusion. That's a delusion. So, anyways, but you know what I gotta say about it? I gotta say is that learning how to love yourself, you can't go wrong. That's the timeline you want to be on, is the one where you love yourself. And that also, you'll be loving everybody else, because once you can love yourself and you're not judging yourself, well, what are you going to judge everybody else for? So learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody else, and learn how to have the day you want to have. And I almost forgot this. I talked about it. I did show it. I swear to God, the enamel is starting to go on it. So it's starting to get to the end of the process, hopefully. So anyways, just remember, because I swear to God, you can't go wrong. Learning how to love yourself. And I'm telling you, if you want to, just slow down. Just slow down in your reactions and take more time to think things through. And don't shame yourself for all the feelings and all of the parts of you that are revealed to you. There's nothing wrong with you. You just get an opportunity to see them through the different experiences that have occur. So, anyways, just remember, be nice to yourself. Love yourself. Learn how to love yourself. Learn how to love everybody. Learn how to have the day you want to have, because you can. So, anyways, but we will talk about it again tomorrow. So I'll see you in the morning. Bye.